talking about thought leadership, you mentioned that as well. A lot of times people of anywhere in the company maybe don't want to take the time. They feel maybe like an imposter, imposter syndrome, feeling like, who am I to talk about that? But I do think our industry would be better, more advanced, more diverse, all those things, if people would showcase their expertise. And so, any words of advice on how to kind of get out of your head or move through the fear or imposter syndrome as you're creating content, podcasts, webinars, newsletters? Like how do you personally do that, or even with your team, to get the content out there from a thought leadership perspective?
Oh, it's such a good question. I do know in 2019, when we set the strategy and we were going to take on some of these initiatives, I was not comfortable. I wasn't comfortable, not because I didn't think it was right for the business, but I didn't know how I was going to accomplish it. And I knew that I had to be the subject matter experts in our organization to lead it and then bring our other subject matter experts in. So you almost have to believe in the strategy and set the goal. And then by having the goal, you start taking the steps. And, you almost just have to believe in the messages that you're providing. And if you keep it authentic to who you are, it becomes easier. When that imposter syndrome hits us all, certainly did me. And it still creeps in at times. There are going to be times you're going to do things that you're not so comfortable with. But again, if I just be my authentic self, say I'm here to educate people on the things that I know and share the stories and share my experiences in a real way, it ends up typically really connecting with people. And honestly, it ends up being more rewarding for me as well. And it does get easier. So you almost have to just trust that if the organization is looking to you to be the one to do it, they're probably right. And you have to trust them that they're selecting you and go do it. And I don't know how else to say it. It was hard for me as well.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to many people that it's easy, fun, natural. Most people, it's kind of a grind. It takes a while to kind of get out of their own head and things like that. Now, there are some people that are naturally whatever, but to me, that's the rarity, the exception. You mentioned, it is hard, like, hey, what do I talk about? Or how do I want to be a thought leader? Am I allowed to be a thought, all those things. Mm-hmm. So some simple kind of practical tips, for the listener is think about your top 10 or 20 frequently asked questions and create a short video on each topic or an article or, and that's an easy way of like, you're already getting common questions, whether it's sales or marketing or, operations, whatever that might be, you tackle that or your team, like that's kind of an easy entry to thought leadership is FAQs.
Yes.
Same thing. Like, I love that you said when you go to these conferences, like you're sitting right alongside your actual customers or your potential customers, right? And so then you can kind of speak on, hey, what did you learn in the conference? What conversations did you have that sparked some creativity? So it doesn't have to be overly complicated when thinking about content marketing and thought leadership. It can be actually, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
What's already going through your company and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I read a great book on the FAQs. They ask you answer. Have you seen that? Yes. Yeah, it's a Marcus Cunningham. Yeah, I reread it and reread it. Yeah, I agree with you. It's such a great point, Jeff. Yes.